Hong Ti Chinese Temple is the oldest holy Chinese Buddhist temple in Surabaya, which was built by Tartar troop on Kubilai Han Emperor era on the early of Majapahit Kingdom, approximately 700 until 800 years ago. The temple reminds of the strong Chinese influence in Indonesia in the prehistoric times. It is located in the heart of Surabaya's Chinatown, and it exudes old world Chinese charm. The vibrant red tapestry that adorn the temple, combined with the strong scents of incense wafting through its ancient courtyard, create a very atmospheric and holy atmosphere. The temple is also famous for its wayang potehi, or puppet show, that is typical of the Chinese community, and distinct from the wayang kulit puppet show of the Balinese. The legend of Wali Songo in Indonesia still thrives in Javanese life. Wali Songo is 9 saints who spread Islam at location of northern coast of Java in the period of 15th to 16th century. Ampel Surabaya is the oldest site relics of Sunan Ampel. Raden Rahmat, known as Sunan Ampel, is a religious figure and one of the legendary members of Wali Songo in Surabaya, even in Java. The ethnic of Arab already occupies this region since the imposition of decentralized population by ethnic group in the era of Netherlands, located in the East Red Bridge and the center of Ampel Mosque. Masjid of Sunan Ampel, or Ampel Mosque, founded in 1421 by Sunan Ampel, assisted by his student and 2 friends, namely Mbah Soleh and Mbah Son Haji. Mosque was established to serve as a medium of propaganda in order to increase the spread of Islam, as well as improving public piety. The mosque is built on a plot of land measuring 120 times 180 square meters in the village Ampel. This land was a gift from Brawijaya, king of Majapahit. Furthermore, Sunan Ampel died in 1481 and was buried to the west of the mosque. Tomb area was later developed.
Kelenteng Sanggar Agung is one of Surabaya's religious sites. The temple was built in 1999 by the Setiaji Yudo family. To enjoy the beauty of this temple, we need to pay the entrance ticket for Ganjaran Park at the first gate. What makes Kelenteng Sanggar Agung special is that the temple was built on the sea with 20-meter hexagon image statue on top of the pillar and two dragons watching each other right under the pillar. People can watch the Suramadu Bridge and the glimpse of Madura land from here. The temple is open 24 hours for praying purposes and 9 to 5 p.m. for other purposes. "500 meters south of the statue, there will also Kelenteng named Kelenteng Kwang Kong Pyo. This temple was made 20 years earlier than Kelenteng Sanggar Agung. In this area, we could also find the biggest and the highest Buddha statue in Indonesia. Gereja Santa Perawan Maria, or known as Gereja Kepanjen, is located on Kepanjen Street number 4. Being one of the oldest churches in Surabaya, this church was built in 1899. The church was designed by Wismes and has a European Gothic style. In 1945, the church was damaged due to the Battle of Surabaya and got renovated 5 years later.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We extend our warmest welcome from Unesa to everybody who joined this event today. We hope that all of you are always safe, healthy, and also happy. Today, we are entering the event of second day of Unesa Samar State University Joint Course 2022. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Jalu Wintang Widodo, and I will be the MC for today's event. Before we start our agenda today, there will be some rules that participants should obey and pay attention. First, please rename your Zoom username based on the name that you have registered in the G-form. Second, participants must mute the microphone during the session, except the moderator asks you to unmute the microphone. Third, you must fill out the entry ticket and exit ticket that will be given in the end and in the beginning of the session. Fourth, you may ask some questions in the questions and answer session through chat box features or raise hand features. So from the rules that I have mentioned before, any questions? Okay, so I think it is clear. So, ladies and gentlemen, today we are gathered here on this very fine afternoon to learn about the mental and physical health. There will be some speakers who expert on their fields, especially in the mental and physical health field. In the first agenda, we will watch the recapitulation video about the opening ceremony of Unesa Samar State University in 2022, which we have already done in last Friday. So happy watching and Enjoy the video.
But only if you listen to me. Come inside our heart. You look in our eyes and look at the stars. A little bit faster.
All right, so I think there is some problem on the video, and before the video has been launched and the problem was overcome, we think that in the opening ceremony there are some moments, amazing moments that we have already done in the opening ceremony. We also know about the expectation from the students here, from the participants from Samar University, or maybe from the Unesa, who expect more great experiences when we joining the Unesa and Samar State University joint course. And don't forget and don't worry, because in this event we have many fun, interesting, and also fascinating agenda. For example, we have the game, the quizzes, and also some discussion, or also some topics that already been modern, and also some hot topics that we will learn in the next days until the 14th July. So, okay, before we start our agenda, I will show you our today's agenda and activities. The first one is opening that we have already done. And the second is the main session, which held by the presentation sessions by our great speakers. First is from Bu Siti Ina Safira and Bu Wulan Patria Soroinsong, who will talk about the mindfulness and well-being. And the second speaker is from Pak Awang Firmansyah, who will talk about the home workout for college students. In this main session, you will be guided by Mr. Trenda. So, hello, Pak Trenda.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, great, thank you. And how are you?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So, thank you for coming to this event, and nice to meet you. Okay, so the third agenda is we also have ice-breaking session for about 30 minutes. And in this agenda, in this break session, you will guided by my friends later, and there will be some quizzes, some games, and some funny activities that can strengthen your relationship and also to refresh your mind from your stress. And also you can know the participants each other, especially from Samar University. Students will know from the Unesa and vice versa. So you will know each other and you will know the characters and also many more to strengthen your relationship. Okay, so how about the recap video? Okay, so today, before we entering the main session or the presentation session by our great speakers, we will watch the opening ceremony recapitulation video that will be played after this. So happy watching and enjoy the video.
But only if you listen to me. Come inside our heart. You look in our eyes and look at the stars. A little bit faster.
Okay, so we will entering the main session the presentation session, and I will give the time for Pak Trenda to guide you during this session. Okay, so from the participant from Unesa, how are you today? Okay, okay, we think that all of you are always safe, and we hope so that you are healthy and also safe. So, okay, right. So, how are you from Unesa or State University of Surabaya students? How are you today? You can unmute your mic now. Hello. Okay, Alhamdulillah. And from now it's from Samar State University. So how are you? Okay. Yeah, great. Nice to hear you too, Fred. And now, are you ready for the next session? Hello? Okay, great. And now we will entering the main session that will be guided by Pak Trenda. So, Pak Trenda, the time is yours.
Ya, oke, thank you, Mas Jalu ya. Kalau Mas ya.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, but my voice, do you hear clearly? Hello? Yeah. Okay, thank you. I want to check. Oke, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera, Swastiastu, namo buddhaya, salam kebajikan. Greeting from culture. And yeah, hello everyone. Good afternoon. Yeah, welcome to Universitas Negeri Surabaya and Samar State University Joint Summer Course or USSU GSG 2022 Day 1. Okay, as the saying goes, if you don't know someone, there is no impression at all. So please allow me to introduce myself before we move to main agenda.
Nanti kamu kan.
Yeah, my name is Trenda Aktiva Autarianda. Just call me Trenda because my name is not familiar maybe for other name in the world maybe. In here I serve as a lecturer in the Department of Public Administration Unesa. I also one of the member of Office of International Affairs Team Universitas Negeri Surabaya. But for this event, I am a moderator. Yeah, in here I am moderator that will accompany all of you participant until the end of the event in day 1. And then for our information, yeah, this USSU GSG, yeah, perhaps or maybe it's a long abbreviation, but we should use it. Yeah, 2022 is one of the collaboration program or maybe the first between Unesa and SSU in order to make our students recognize the diversity by given by world societies and the opportunities to improve the knowledge and experience of different cultures and also make more networking friendship among our students. Okay, before we enter the main agenda, I want again to greet all participants. Participants, how are you today? How are you? Great, Okay, I also hope all of you always safe, healthy, happy, and smiley. Okay, show me your smile. But that honest smile, right? Not a fake smile. I hope so. And please don't be over smiley, because if you don't want other people judge you as a freaky man. just a joke, yeah. So maybe it's the one of question, yeah. What is the difference between honest and freaky smile, yeah, or a fake smile, yeah? Maybe that's a question is closely related to our topics today, yeah, about mental and physical health, yeah. And then we also hope all of you are excited to participate in this event today and also to the next day. Okay, yeah, before we welcome our speaker, our great speakers, yeah, the speaker still waiting in that chair, yeah. And I'd like to ask you a simple question, yeah, about what or have you ever experienced, yeah, burnout or maybe stress, yeah, stress out during your study, yeah, your study in the academic life, yeah. Do you or have you guys? I think that's a normal, yeah. If you don't have some stress out or burnout experience, I think I think it's normal that we have burnout or stress out experience. But how we can handle it, how we can solve it, yeah. So we really understand that what you feel and what we feel, yeah. So to solve your mental problem or maybe to solve the burnout or stress experience, please welcome our outstanding speakers. Yeah, there are Mrs. Wulan, Mrs. Siti Ina Safira, MPSI, Magister Education, yeah, CP, yeah, and Mrs. Wulan Patria Sarensong, MPSI, MPD, PhD, yeah. So in this agenda, firstly, the speaker will be give us some material is Mrs. Siti Ina Safira, yeah, Mrs. Ina. How are you today, Mrs. Ina?
Thank you, Pak Brenda. How are you, Pak?
Yeah, fine. How are you, Mrs. Ina? Do you feel great?
Yes, of course. Of course. This
Yeah.
is very exciting.
Yeah.
And I hope that the students here are also in a good mental health. That's what we're going to talk about today.
Okay. Okay, how about Mrs. Bulan? How are you today? Okay, fine. Really fine. I'm happy, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I also feel it too. But for me, I maybe a little maybe nervous, yeah, because it's first time, yeah. I become a moderator, but my nervous a little bit covered with excitement of the participant, yeah, I think, yeah. Okay. Yeah, thank you for our speakers. And now, now I will read some CV from Mrs. Siti Ina Safira, or we can call it Mrs. Ina, right? Yeah, Mrs. Ina worked at the undergraduate program of Psikologi Universitas Negeri Surabaya. Mrs. Ina's science field is educational psychology and also practicing counselor since 2013. Oh, that's a long time, yeah. Okay, that's a background of the first speaker, and we will enter the lecture session with Mrs. Ina Safira, who will talk about mental health in academic life. So that's related about our question that we discussed before. Okay, Mrs. Ina, time is yours. Okay. Mike, yeah, before we prepare our speaker, and yeah, talking about mental health is one of the urgent thing that we must be through it. If we don't, I think we don't survive, especially in the pandemic era and after pandemic. We know that some method of education so different. We must to through asynchronous and asynchronous education. We must be used to many method of online system education that challenging for us, but how we can survive it. We can continue to our speaker. Okay, Mrs. Ina, please.
Yes. Thank you so much, Pak Brenda, for your kind introduction. So, students, how are you today? I hope that you're doing well. I'm sorry that we cannot see each other face to face, but I hope this is quite comfortable for you, and I hope we can this doesn't affect our discussion later on. So, Pak Tendra has given a good introduction about what we're going to talk about today, which is the mental health in academic life. Can we start with the slide, please? Thank you. Is my voice all right? Can you hear me well? Thank you. All right, so we're going to talk about mental health in academic life. Now, as Pak Trenda begin early in the session, mental health is very, an important topic, and it's been talked a lot these days compared to like 10 or probably 20 years ago. I think the awareness to mental health now is so much better, and we are now talking about and discussing about mental health. Now, today we're going to talk about generally about what mental health is, and then we're going to go to talking about mental health in academic life, because that's probably where we're most relevant today. So my name is Siti Ina Safira, but you can call me Miss Ina, or you can call me Ibu Ina. That's in Indonesia. Next, please. Yes, so that's a bit of my background. I'm practicing counselor since 2013. I'm interested in research and academic writing. In fact, I have a workshop coming up on July 8th. So if you're interested, you can contact me on sitiisafira@unesa.ac.id. Currently, I'm working at the undergraduate program of psychology. So this is the simple structure for today's topic. So we're going to talk generally about the definition of mental health, and then we're going to talk about mental health in young generation, which is your generation, not mine, because I learned a shocking truth about my age, is that according to World Health Organization, that according to your generation, my age is like elderly, like I'm 40, and within 5 years, I'm going to be called elderly by your generation. Now that is the shocking truth, which is came out from the World Health Organization. So I'm dealing with that, so it's kind of part of the issue of mental health, how we deal with aging, right?
Aging.
And the third thing is mental health in academic life. Now we're going to see about how mental health and academic life are related. And we're going to talk a bit about the mechanism of mental health. And then the last thing is what we can do about it. And it's going to be related to what Ms. Wulan is going to talk about, mindfulness therapy that might be one strategy to deal with mental health problems. And you can find the references I'm going to use throughout the presentation at the end of the presentation. Okay, so now what is mental health? Now, if this is a classroom that I would expect, someone would raise hand, but obviously because we have limited time, then we're gonna have to just go through a quick quiz. I've prepared a Menti quiz. Next slide, please. Yes, and I hope you're familiar. Your generation is quite, good with technology. I hope this doesn't cause you too much trouble. You can just scan the QR code on the screen, or you can go to menti.com and put in the number 705. I sound like a person talking about 78058281. And then you will go. You will find 3 statements, and on each statement you can move the button to the right or to the left. All the stuff, if you're interested, you can do the quiz as well. It applies to you too. It's quite general. Sorry, technical issue here. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Is anyone having trouble with the Menti? I think I'm having technical thing with my chair. It keeps coming down. Excuse me for a minute. Dia turun terus. Yeah. It keeps coming down. So, all right. Is everybody okay? Yeah. Okay. Now this is the result. So don't worry, it's all anonymous. So I'm not gonna know who's saying what. So this is the description. Okay. 33 people have responded. There are about 100 and so participants in the Zoom meeting. So there are more. So you can continue, and we can just continue with next slide. We can come back to this later. So that's interesting. The responses are very interesting. Do you think you have already an idea about what we're going to talk about? Looking at that statement, yeah, probably have kind of idea that it does have something to do with mental health and how it is divine. Next slide, please. Okay, now of course we're going to start with the definition. Now, according to WHO, mental health is a state of well-being in which the individual realizes his or her own abilities, can cope with the normal stresses of life, can work productively and fruitfully, and is able to make a contribution to his or her community. Okay? Now, there are some important points in this definition, which is the well-being of the individual, and then the ability to cope with the normal stresses of life. Brenda early says it's quite normal to feel anxious. It's quite normal to feel a bit of stress, right? But the definition emphasizes on the ability how we cope to those normal stresses of life and work productively and fruitfully. Okay, now we're gonna look on the next slide. Yeah, and this is some of the components of mental health. So it includes emotional well-being, includes happiness, interest in life, and satisfaction. And then psychological well-being includes liking most parts of one's own personality. And then social well-being, positive functioning. Now, if you remember the statements that you early on looked on menti.com, each of the statement represents each of these components. So, for example, the first one saying something like, I experienced a negative emotion in the last month. So, what are you going to say? And now, interestingly, as we look at the result of the Mentimeter, I think um, the result was have a lot of tendency to go to the strongly agree, which means that you have experienced negative emotion within the last month, right? And then the second thing is, have you ever feel disappointed about yourself? And the tendency of the answer is also leaning toward agreeing or strongly agree. So you have experienced that you, at some point of your life, you feel like you're disappointed at yourself for whatever reason. Probably, I don't know, failing on one of your assignments, probably, or you feel like you can do better at some task, but you didn't, and everything, right? And then the last one, positive functioning. The third question was, the third statement was, have you experienced physical fatigue that actually influence your activities? And probably most of you would say yes. Now, the question is, next slide, please. So based on your answer, do you think you would identify yourself as mentally healthy? Probably, can I get a quick response? Maybe someone would respond directly. I think you can just unmute. Yeah. Based on your answer on the Mentimeter, do you think, would you identify yourself as mentally healthy? No. You believe not, yeah. So, well, that's the thing, okay? Now, who's gonna say that we're mentally healthy? Okay, next slide, please. Next slide, please. Now, don't worry if you say, no, unfortunately, that was just 3 statements. And then, no, I don't think we're healthy because we've experienced all those negative states. But there are critics to mental health theory and the definition, because mental health definition tends to overemphasize to positive emotion and functioning or productivity. Now, your generation probably aware with a new phrase, because like when I was 10, 20 years ago, there's I never heard of this phrase, but now there's this phrase saying about toxic positivity. Have you ever heard about this? Anyone? Yes? Yeah. So there's overemphasis to positive emotion, and it's kind of no, that's one of the side effects, I say, with the mental health awareness. You know, people's advocating about mental health, but then there's this positive vibe, and then we are there's this pressure to for us to keep positive. Like, we have to be positive all the time, we have to be happy all the time, we have to, you know, giving the smiling all the time. That's what we call the toxic positivity. What happened is, when people are just overemphasizing to positive emotion, they then neglect the negative emotion, which is actually quite normal, because I believe that every one of us, including you, and your responses in many matters show that, because negative emotion is quite normal, you know, because we do feel sad sometimes because of a lot of things that's going on for a lot of reasons in our life. So we do sometimes feel that we're tired, we're exhausted, we feel like we don't want to go out, or we probably sometimes feel like we just want to stay at home, or you know, we don't really want to see anyone. But, you know, sometimes it may be normal. It doesn't mean that we have a mental health problem. Now, that's the critic to mental health theory. And so for you who says, no, I don't think it looks like I'm not mentally healthy, well, that's okay, because there are other things that we can look at with the mental health definition. Next slide, please. Now, there's a shift in mental health definition. So the first consensus, this is most research agrees on is that mental health is not merely the absence of mental illness. We can all agree that. Even when I say, okay, there's times when I just feel tired, I just want to stay at home, it doesn't mean that it occurred like every day or every time. It doesn't mean that I'm a depressive or that I have a depressive condition or something. So mental health is not merely the absence of mental illness. The second thing is that it may include variety of emotional states and imperfect functioning. So sometimes you probably do our work, but it's not perfect. It's okay. It doesn't mean that you're not mentally healthy, because it's normal. Sometimes you're, on the top of your performance, and sometimes you're just not. And then, like I said, life, you can't always be happy. Sometimes you're sad, sometimes you're disappointed, and all that. And then the third thing is emphasizing on universal values. Now, this is the most agreed on definition about mental health. Mental health people would do this third point, that they will respect and care for oneself and other living beings. They will recognize the connectedness between people and respect for the environment, respect for one's own and others' freedom. Now, this is the consensus. So when you started to begin like you're lacking at this third point, then that will be an indicator of you're not exactly being mentally healthy. When you feel like, probably, I don't know, you want to attack someone, or you want to aggressively offend someone, or you talk intentionally to hurt someone, that's probably a better indication of not being mentally healthy. Okay, next slide, please. So to sum up, mental health is subjective and acknowledging the dynamic of human experience. So it is a dynamic state of internal equilibrium. So on Mentimeter, I try to show you that it's a line, and we can actually move toward, to the right or to the left. It's a dynamic experience. Next, please. Now we're going to talk a bit about mental health in young generation. This is very important because every generation has certain characteristics that are also relevant to mental health issues. Next, please. I'm just going to go a bit faster on this. So, previous slide, please. Okay. So there are a lot of research on your generation, millennials. You're probably generation after millennials, but it's still relevant. So the biggest threat to adolescents now are anxiety and depression, not drugs. So, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, we fought against drugs, but now we're fighting against mental health problem, which is anxiety and depression. And there are a lot of research saying that young generation now are the most anxious generation. So you tend to get more anxious. You get anxious a lot. And a generation of low self-esteem and the highest levels of stress and depression than any other generation at the same age. So if we compare the age of this generation and then compare it with the age generation of my generation probably, then your generation or the current generation would likely to have a higher stress and depression rate. Next. Now, what seems to be the cause to that? Well, a lot of issues, like working career in young age, you already, begin to think about. There's a lot of pressure compared to, when I was in school, in high school. Now, even in high school, when you're in the first grade of high school, and people are going to ask you what you're going to do, which university are you going to, and all that. Life purposes, values and beliefs, and interest and passion. And a lot of more issues. Next slide, please. Yeah. So your generation facing probably like a very complex society, not necessarily because of your fault. It's the problem from, the generation before you, and then to the next generation, but then it's kind of all blow up in this generation, like now you have a high competition level, and then you have to face a lot of issues, global issues, and you're expected to have an attitude, or you're expected to have your opinion on those global issues. Social demands, of course, body shaming, that's one of the issue also that you're facing. Social media, it's a very strong issue that you're also facing. Next, please. Now, the impact of psychological state. So now there are a lot of new things coming out based on that. First, there's a FOMO, fear of missing out. That's going to happen when you're using social media a lot. And then there's this contingent self-esteem. It's self-esteem based on approval or validation of others. And then even now there's something called Zoom fatigue, when you're being on Zoom too much, probably when you're doing the online learning. And then academic stress, burnout, and anxiety. Next slide, please. Okay, now we're going to the mental health in academic life. So how are these two related? Well, a lot of research would say that students with mental health problems would likely to have lower academic achievement. And also, students who are struggling at schools, students who are struggling with learning, would likely to have mental health problems. Like they get anxiety, they get depression. Next, please. Yeah, so there's research saying that there's a strong association between symptoms of mental distress, academic self-efficacy, and study progress. And 1 in 3 university students experiences mental health problems during their study. And then in US, mental health problem among students is a big issue. They even call it crisis. So there's a strong connection between mental health and problems in academic life. Next, please. Yeah, I think we can just pass it. Nice. Okay, now, so how does mental health happens? I mean, what affects mental health? So you can't really say one factor, but it is a combination between the cognition, psychology, and social factors. Cognition means the way we think. Psychology is on the psychological state, like including emotions, and social factors including like social support. If we have a good social support, we have our parents giving us support, that would likely to increase our mental health. Next. Okay. Now this is just the theoretical thing that I found searching, so you can look on the references that I use at the end of the presentation. These are some of the things that, so it's a meta-analysis research, so it collects a lot of research and then trying to identify what are some of the vulnerable characteristics, protective factors, and the coping mechanisms. So these are the dynamic of what influence our mental health. For example, rural or remote population would likely have vulnerability to lower mental health. But then on protective factors, like I said, social support is really important. If you have a good environment, if you have a conducive supporting environment, then it will help you a lot in increasing your mental health. And then the coping mechanism is how we deal or we cope with our problems. Next slide, please. Mental health, it's a very big issue. I actually, if I have to give a course, I would probably give it like a whole semester to talk about it. We only have such a limited time to talk about mental health, so we're just gonna go a bit quick. So mental health challenges such as anxiety and depression distract from learning and interfere with the cognitive processes associated with learning. So when we have, or when the students have mental health problems, of course, the cognitive process would be inhibited, and that, of course, will affect the learning achievement of the students. On the contrary, mental health disorders can also be the end product of persistent feelings of failure and low self-esteem related to academic challenges. Next, please. So if students feel adequately supported and successful in school, this improves their mental health, self-esteem, and emotional health, and vice versa. If students are struggling, they're frustrated about their school, their learning, that would likely to lower their mental health. Next. In some extreme cases, I don't know in Philippines, but in Indonesia we have disturbing number of cases of students who commit suicide because failing academically. Right? So that's a very big issue. Now, what we can do, this is the last part of the presentation. The first one is be aware of self-limitation, set priorities. Everybody has a limitation, and you can't do everything, just getting everything done. So we have to be rational about it. We have to be rational about our limitations, and we have to set priorities. And the second is communicate your limitations. So when you feel like you're reaching your limit, you have to talk about it. You have to tell other people, probably people you work with, your friends, you try to negotiate with them how you can manage that work. And then number 3 is very important, appreciate yourself. This is something that we often lacking. We forget that, to appreciate ourselves for what we have done. Like you've probably been successful, but when you're successful, you say, oh no, it was just lucky. It wasn't me, it was luck. Or, because my parents were praying for me, But, when you're successful, give yourself, appreciation. You've done well. You did it. And number 4, tell other people. When it's really overwhelming, then you have to talk to other people. Talking helps. And if it's really necessary, then you can also seek for professional help. Now, there are a lot of online counseling where you don't have to, come on the site and meet a counselor face-to-face. You can do it online. Anytime, there are a lot of platforms now to do that, so please don't hesitate. And the last one is balance your life activities. Now, that's why today's topic is about mental health and physical health, because those two components are related. So if you're healthy, it's not just mentally, but your physique is also needs to be healthy, because when you're doing sport, Awang will probably explain that later. When you're exercising, there's hormone that will stimulate your emotion as well. So it really does give a positive effect. Next. Yeah, so remember the number 3 is appreciate yourself. Now, one of the things that now is being advocate a lot in society is to have this self-compassion. The self-compassion is how we demonstrate openness, compassion, attention, and care for oneself, to ourselves, when we are dealing with unpleasant experiences that cause emotional, mental, or physical injuries, such as suffering, self-deficiency, and failure. Like I said early on, look, we all have experienced negative emotion. It doesn't mean that we're not, mentally healthy. We've been in some sort of stress or anxiety. It doesn't mean that we're not mentally healthy. Or we've been doing we probably have failed in one of our assignments, or we didn't finish our task on time. Or, be compassionate about to ourselves. We're not just being compassionate to other people, but we also need to have that self-compassion to ourselves. So number one is self-kindness. Self-kindness is a condition in which a person shows concern and understands oneself without showing a judgmental attitude. So not being over criticized to ourselves, not self-blame, try to avoid that. And then the second thing is common humanity, refers to how individual is able to judge that unpleasant experiences and failure experience as are part of the normal experience experienced by many people. So don't does not blame ourselves too much that we want to hurt ourselves, just because we make a mistake. A mistake is human, actually. Number 3 is mindfulness. Now, this is related to what Ms. Wulan is going to teach us today, right after my session. It's really interesting. So this is one of the strategies that you can use when you feel like you're not feeling your best or you're having a bad day. Then you can do, this is something that you can do individually, something that you can do independently. So you don't have to see a counselor, you don't have to see a psychologist. You can do this at home, and you can do this quite easily. And Ms. Wulan is going to show us later after this session. Next, I believe it's going to be the last slide. Yeah. So talking about mental health means that we care. While not being aware about it doesn't mean we're healthy. So if you meet someone who, mental health is not an important issue, because you just have to be positive, just be positive, but don't want to talk about it, not being aware of it. It doesn't mean that they're healthy. In fact, on the contrary, research shows people who avoids this topic or this issue might actually have mental issues. So that's why they avoid it. They're probably, focusing on being positive, but they avoid the negative emotion. They don't want to experience, or they neglect the negative feelings, and they never solve it. They just avoid it and hoping that it will go away. Now that's not a healthy strategy. So I think that's the end of my slide. The end of my presentation. So thank you very much for being patient with me. I hope there's time for us to have a discussion. I really like to hear what you think about my presentation. So thank you. I'll send it back to Pak Kanda. Thank you for being so patient, Pak.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm very thank you to about your material. So wonderful and insightful explanation from Mrs. Ina. Yeah, thank you very much about that. And I think there are some questions. Yeah, maybe a participant want to ask some question about the material that presented by Mrs. Ina. So now we open the Q&A, question and answer session. Please, for the participant, you can ask a question or comment by raising your hand or texting in the chat box. Maybe I will prioritize to the participant who will be raising hand. Yeah. Okay. The first I will give opportunity to. Who's the first? Oh wait. Please wait a minute. Yeah.
Iman Prayudi.
Yeah, Iman Prayudi. Yeah. Firman Prayudi Hasan. Okay, thank you. Okay. Let's go ahead.
First. All right. Thank you, sir, for the opportunity.
Yeah.
And that was such a nice presentation. my question is, we know that parents have a big impact in a child's life, right?
Yeah.
Now, as we know, in Indonesia, there is still a lot of parents that still didn't care to their children's mental health. Now, to overcome this, in your own opinion, how can our parents make sure that their impact to their children is good in the terms of mental health? You know, a lot of my friends feel the same, like, I'm really sorry to say this, like the broken homes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they always feel like depressed, anxiety, stuff that doesn't come from their environment, but from their main family.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Herman. Herman is a Unesa student, right? Okay. That's a very interesting question, and I think you probably can say that not only to parents, but I hear a lot of my students say, you know, lectures. The lectures is like beyond God, because God would only give humans something that they can deal with. Lecturers can, you know, can give assignments beyond their abilities to solve. So lectures are beyond God. But, you know, here's the thing. Like I said, parents and family social support is very important, especially your primary environment. The closest environment is your family, your parents. Now, it is true that they have a very significant effect on our growth. In fact, there are a lot of self-healing books that relates on how we deal or how we overcoming that traumatizing relationship between child and parents. So it does give a lot of effect to us as an adult. But what I would like to emphasize, you know, okay, so we deal with that, but now we really need to focus on what we are going to do, you know, on our future. Are we going to stuck with that traumatizing relationship? Are we going to keep looking back, this is my parents' fault, this is what they've done to me? Or are we going to try to do something that focus on how we can optimize our potentials, how we can do, you know, productive life activities, you know, while dealing with that sort of traumatizing relationship. I'm not saying that we, what do you call it? I'm not saying that we have to forget about it and just pretend that it's not there. No, it has to be solved, because everything traumatizing, all emotion, all experience, negative experience would come effect, and it will influence how we see things in our lives. So if we decided to avoid that, it will come in sort of later in our lives, like the deviant behavior that we don't realize. We'll probably be making wrong choices in our lives because of that. But I think it's really important also to ask ourselves what we're going to do about it, what we're going to do to ourselves. Are we going to keep holding that grudge, you know, holding that scar, that pain in our life, or are we going to let go? Are we going to forgive that and move on and try to find a way to move on with our lives? Now, if you ask me what parents should do to, well, you know, it's really complex. I'm a parent too, and being parents is really, really hard. I'm not saying, well, you can't blame parents, it's not like that, but you know, it's really complex, and a lot of parents probably also come from that traumatizing relationship with the parents, and then they unconsciously, you know, repeat that cycle to their children. And according to research, that would probably explain what happened. So, have you ever heard the phrase, hurt people hurts people? So, yeah. So, Anyone ever heard that phrase? So when you're hurt and you're not dealing, you haven't dealt with that pain, and you are likely to hurt someone else, whether you realize it or not. And that's probably also happened with parenting. Abusive parents usually come from abusive relationships with their parents as well. So I think it's really important to find a way how you can forgive that and move on with your life. Yeah, man? You're welcome. Yeah. Okay. From Sacramento State University. I have to come a bit closer because I'm about to be elderly in 5 years. Okay. Which one? From
Citro Lapura. Citro Lapura. From Citro Lapura.
Okay, I have to change my glasses, obviously. It's not very helpful.
Perhaps I will have.
Jetro?
Yeah. Okay. I will try to.
Okay. I'm trying to read the name. Jetro from Jetro. I'm sorry if I mispronounce your name. How can you handle a person struggling in mental health but don't want to share it and wants to be alone? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Jetro Lapura. Thank you. This is a very good question, and this is what my students often ask me as well. Now, according to research, when someone is in pain, they actually try to communicate it in some ways. Always. Like if you're on social media and you probably post status like, I don't know, it doesn't have to be like explicitly saying I'm in pain, help me, but they always, actually try to communicate that. And like if you take extreme cases, like suicide cases, when you look back to suicide victims, there's always something, they always try to communicate it. They found notes, they're writing about it on diary, or they write it in their status, on their Facebook status probably. And other people read it. And then their friends will probably like, so that's, that he did said something about this in his status last week or something. So I think it's really important. That's why a few years ago, I really advocate for peer counseling. So I'm a practicing counselor since 2013, and a lot of problem with adolescents, with teenagers, they don't want to come to see me because I'm not from your generation or because I'm old. But they probably want to talk with their peers. And their peers can recognize these signs. I have students come to me. He said, his friend tell that she's hurting herself, self-inflicting. So she cut the wrist of her hands. But she said, don't come see me. Don't try come to see me. Don't ask for me and anything. And I said, well, obviously, she's telling you this. She's telling you that she's hurting herself. So what are you going to do? Are you going to just, not pretending that you don't know? That's the sign of asking help. So people who are having psychological problems, they actually communicate that in a lot of ways. Sometimes we don't, we don't realize that it's, that sign for help, but it's always something. So just be sensitive around your friends. Do care about them, and just keep advocating about mental health, how important it is to acknowledge when we have negative emotions, and just the thing about people with depression, you can't just talk them out of depression. You can't go to someone with depression and say, look, it's going to be all right. You're going to be fine. A lot of people love you. It doesn't work that way. So you have to show how to be accepting. It's really important because a lot of people with mental health problems things that the society doesn't accept them. So that's usually one of the things, is to unconditionally accept other people in whatever they're dealing with. So I think that's my answer to what's the name? The profile. Yeah.
Citro, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for the comprehensive question and wonderful answer from Miss Ina, and I think that's can be more open our eyes and our heart to solve a problem about mental health. And then okay, we move to next agenda or next subsection. In here we will be entering the second lecture session with Miss Wulan Patria Sarinsong, and let me to introduce our second speaker background. So CV Miss Wulan, Miss Wulan Patria Sarinsong, SPSI, MPD, PhD. Miss Wulan works as a lecturer at the Department of Childhood Teacher Education Unesa. So that's the background of the second speaker, and we will enter the lecture session with Miss Wulan Patria Sarinsong, or we can call it Miss Wulan, right? Yeah, we will talk about mindful practice. Now we can move to the practice of how to survive some problem of mental issue health. Okay, we'd like to invite Miss Wulan and to explain that material. So to Miss Wulan, time is yours.
Yes, so thank you very much, Pak Trenda. My voice is clear, everyone? Yeah. Pak Trenda, how are you?
Yeah, I'm fine, thank you. Now I'm not really nervous because it's used to being moderator.
Yeah, because we are colleagues.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Slowly, but
guys, thank you very much, Pak Trenda. Guys, a very interesting topic from Miss Ina, how you deal with your mental health, and then your skill, how you deal with your anxiety, and as well as your stress out and burnout, and even the depression. Yeah, so today, one of the strategies that Mrs. Ina said, that the mindfulness. So mindfulness can help you to decrease your anxiety and your depression. So today I'd like to guide you and lead you how to do the mindfulness. But before we start, guys, I'd like to ask you, anyone here ever heard about the mindfulness? So host can, could you host, could you show the gallery of the Zoom, please? Yeah. Actually, I. All right, so I like to still sit down here, and I like to communicate with you. Anyone here ever heard about mindfulness? So I have my students also here, many of my students from Faculty of Education, and many of them also already know me. But from SSU, you just get me know right now. So don't worry to say about your idea, about your feeling, because we are not be judging you here. Yeah, so we just share and we just release our emotion. Yeah. So everyone here ever heard about this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Covered.
All right, Rara.
Okay, I think answer right now or
Yeah,
the
please.
recent one.
the reason or Rara, but
Thank you very much. So the mindfulness itself is kind of you think about what is important for your mental health and aware of yourself by fulfilling your mind with the importance of the positive positive side about to what's it your is positive and to make it as a practice thing. I think that's all on my answer.
yeah, and it's very nice the answer from Rara. But we have to emphasize here about the mindful. Yeah, mindful, not the mindful. Yeah, yeah. So if you hear about these two terms, mindful and then mindful. So, what's your idea about this? So let me know, please, everyone here. I know you are there, and I believe you have this idea about this mindful and then mindful. Mind and full. Yeah, so anyone from SSU?
Mine is full.
I really love to be welcome the students from SSU because I like to know you as well. So, host, can you spotlight one of the students from SSU, please? Who are targets? Host?
Maybe you
So
can
do
pick
not
up
be worried, guys.
one.
Pedro?
Cetro.
Oh, Cetro. Cetro Lapura. Yeah, Cetro Lapura. Are you there? Cetro? Yeah. All right, Cetro. Nice to see you, Cetro. Yeah. So, Cetro, you like to tell me about the mindful and then mindful.
Pardon, ma'am?
Yeah. So would you like to tell me about your idea between the term of mindful and then mindful? Mindful and mindful. Yeah, mindful and mindful.
Mindful and
Yeah.
what's the other one?
All right, so I like to spell mindful is mindful. Ful, sorry. And then for the mindful, mindfull.
Mine is full
Yeah.
and mindful in the others.
So did you get the difference between mindful, mindful, and double L behind of the mindful?
Mindful that. The other one means it is being conscious of what is happening inside and outside of you. And the other one is the things that you want, the things that you want to think that is really mindful. Wait, no. Wait, no.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Wait, no.
Yeah.
The other one is the the overwhelming thoughts.
Overwhelming thoughts.
Yeah, Tetro. I know you have got about this idea, but what we have to know about the difference between these two terms is mindful is the present. Yeah, so mindful without the double L, only one L, is present. So you are in the present right now. And then for the mindful with the double L is overthinking. So you have many of thoughts. However, about your study, about your friends, about your lover, perhaps. Yeah, you have problem with them, or even about your parents and your teacher. So before we start, I just like to Oh, yeah, so someone
You can open that book.
Yeah, got it. So someone from SSU, yeah, I just write in the chat box. So can you please show me the chat box? So mindful is the person struggling, okay? Overthinking for every discussion, experience will make or do. Mindful, on the other hand, is being a person who thinks positiveness, calmness, over stress. Yeah. From whom? Rodel death, right? I'm sorry because I have my cylinder and minus. So yeah. So everything you said, it's I cannot say wrong, but that you have to notice that mindful with the double L is overthinking or a lot of thoughts that you have, and then for mindful is the present. So mindful, how you focus for the present. So today we will learn how to be focused on the right now, what you do right now. So if you are here in the Zoom meeting, then your thought just only be here. Your thought not be go everywhere. Yeah. So sometimes if you have a problem, even you not have a problem, just for example, we are here right now, but of course we have many things to do outside, right? But sometimes they lead us to be anxious. So all the things lead us to be anxious, depressed, and burnout. So today, let's do this exercise, the mindfulness practice, and hopefully can guide you to decrease your stress, anxiety, and depression. Okay, so next.
Next slide.
Yeah. So this is just a bit knowledge for you. So I believe some of you already read about this mindfulness. So before we starting to do the practice, this mindfulness, this exercise breathing, have a pattern. Yeah. So the pattern consists of the 3 counting, like a 4, 7, 8. But if you already know about this technique, then you can increase the number. All right. So, guys, we have a three parts. We have a three parts of this exercise. First, I will need you to try to exercise for the breathing, and then second, we're gonna try for the five senses mindfulness without the music. And the last of our practice, we will start with the music. So are you got it, guys? Hello? Yeah, so thank you for your response. Yeah. So, I already make this script, so you can read or you can just follow my instruction. So you can start to sit or stand in a position of comfort. So make your body feel comfortable. You can close your eyes. You can feel safe for you to do so, or lower your gaze a few inches in front of you, and perhaps sit more upright, and checking in and make sure that the head is atop shoulders that are atop the hips. Yeah, so make sure about that. And then this will allow your lungs to be in the better anatomic alignment to maximize their ability to exchange the air. So sometimes if you have a kind of anxiety, you need to do this pose. Yeah. And when you make this pose, then your lung will have a space to getting the air. So try to make your body comfortable, and then sit like my position here, or if you stand right now, then you can do stand like I mentioned before. Then next, for the step two, please. Next slide. Yeah. When you already set up your body, then you can try to exhale out through the mouth. All right. So I think before we exhale, we have to inhale the air. Inhale the air, and after that we can hold on, and then exhale out through the mouth. So like this, 4, 7, 8. So you have to remember this pattern. 4, 7, 8. Yeah, 4, 2, inhale your breathing, and then you count till 4, 3, 2, 1, and then you hold for 7, counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then you exhale and start to count till 8, counting. Yeah, and you will do it for 3 times or until you feel better. Next. Yeah. Right. You can do 2 or 3 times after this, because we don't have enough time. And then, yeah, exhale once again, and then inhale through the nose. Yeah, so you can do this practice for this 1 time. Yeah, so I give you a chance to try 1 time. All right, so host, can you show the participant screen, please? So everyone here, did you get it, the instruction? So first, we have to inhale, then we hold our breath, and then exhale through our mouth. So everyone, if you got this instruction, then we're gonna start. So did you got this instruction? Or you have any question before we start this breathing exercise? So be quiet, it means what? It means you understand or you confused? But did someone write in the chat box? This is very useful. I agree to. Oh yeah, this is the question. Yeah. So if everyone understand and got what I say, what I instruct, then we can start. All right? Are you ready, guys? Ready?
Yes, we're ready.
Yeah. So start to be relaxed. Yeah, and then close your eyes when you're ready. Everyone in studio, also you can join in with us. Yeah, and then start to inhale your breath, but you have to count in a 4 count. 4, 3, 2, 1, and you hold it in 7 count, and you exhale in the 8 count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. All right, for this section, I wanna ask you. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So I think this exercise is very easy for us to do, and you can also do it in your daily activity in the space of or in the break of your task as a student. So we move to the last practice. Then I think we have to skip the exercise without the music. So we start to exercise with the music. So actually I have my YouTube channel, but this is still in Bahasa. So everyone here, you can join with this my classes in YouTube, and the link also will share by our host. YouTube, please. Ya, jangan dulu. Hold, please hold. Yeah. So, as I mentioned, this is still in Bahasa. So for SSU, you can try to follow the instruction in the. Stop. Yeah. You can follow the instruction in the PPT. The PPT, yeah, because I write in the in English. Yes, but for you from Unesa, you can follow this YouTube guide. Yeah, and I hope this is can help you to be relaxed. Yeah, so host, can you start? So can we start, everyone? Yeah. So let's start and please enjoy this mindfulness from me.
Latihan ini bertujuan dan diri Anda sendiri lebih fokus. Anda lebih memperhatikan sesuatu yang sedang Anda alami melalui setiap indera Anda. Tarik nafas, kemudian lepaskan.
Ya, negara itu.
Ulangi lagi. Dan ketika Anda merasa siap, Anda bisa menutup mata Anda. Tarik nafas lagi dan lepaskan. Sekarang, lihatlah sekeliling Anda dan perhatikan 5 hal yang tidak Anda perhatikan sebelumnya. Mungkin pola dinding, ada cahaya yang memantul dari permukaan, atau berak-bernik di sudut sebuah ruangan. Sekarang, apa yang Anda rasakan? Mungkin Anda merasakan tekanan kaki yang ada di lantai, baju Anda yang tertolong pada bahu Anda, atau suhu dingin pada kulit Anda. Ambillah satu objek dan perhatikan teksturnya. Anda bisa memilih objek apa saja. Syal Anda, topi Anda, atau botol minuman yang Anda bawa. Kemudian perhatikan teksturnya. Bagaimana bentuknya? Dan fokuskan perhatian Anda pada apa yang Anda dengar. Mungkin Anda mendengar suara AC, hijauan burung, ataupun suara musik yang sedang Anda dengarkan. Mungkin berwarna cium.
Alright, we are sorry to stop this exercise, but we promise to send you the link, and then we already also sent you the guide of my script. Because of this time to break, and some of us do the research, and you can, if you have something to ask, you can send by my email. My email is wulansaroyinsong@unesa.ac.id. wulansaroyinsong@unesa.ac.id. Yeah. So, guys, thank you very much for joining, and then enjoy this video and this exercise, and hopefully this can guide you and help you to deal with your stress, your anxiety, as well as your depression. Yeah. One thing that you have to know that mental health is very important to us, but better you have to accept all your conditions and deal with it. Yeah. Thank you very much, and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Over to you, Pak Tenden.
Okay, thank you, Miss Wulan, for the wonderful explanation and let it say relaxable and enjoyable practice. So we hope that all you participants not fall asleep during that practice. It's so relaxable, I think. Okay, now we enter the break section. So you can, all participants can take some time to take a meal or take a drink, take a rest, take a breath, take a pray maybe for a while, and then we'll back again about 30 minutes from now, 30 minutes later. Okay, see you in the second section. Okay, thank you.
Bungkul Park was built right in the center of Surabaya city on an area of approximately 900 square meters. This park is in Bungkul village, and this village is no ordinary village. There once lived a highly respected public figure named Ki Ageng Supo. He is a descendant of Ki Gede or Ki Ageng from Majapahit, who lived around 14 until 1481. Ki Ageng Supo has a very big role in spreading Islam in East Java, especially Surabaya and its surroundings. Ki Ageng Supo later received the title Mbah Bungkul or Sunan Bungkul as an award for the good things he did. Because it is highly respected, even after he died, his grave is still often visited by local people or tourists from outside the city who want to make pilgrimage. The location of his tomb is behind Bungkul Park and has become one of the religious tourism destinations. Bungkul Park is located on Jalan Raya Darmo, Darmo Village, Wonokromo District, Surabaya City. The location is very strategic and can be accessed from anywhere. The atmosphere in this park is also beautiful and cool, so it is often visited by public and tourists. When you come to this place, there are several public facilities that you can enjoy. There are amphitheater used for music and art festival, jogging track, ready-to-drink water faucets, skate and BMX track, playground area, free Wi-Fi access, street vendor center, and advanced security. The popularity of Bungkul Park has been recognized internationally through the acquisition of the United Nations Award in the form of ASEAN 2013 Townscape Sector Award. The awarding was awarded by 4 world organizations, namely United Nations Habitat Regional Office for the Asia and the Pacific, Asia Habitat Society, Asia Townscape Design Society, and Fukuoka Asia Urban Research Centers. So, what are you waiting for? Let's come and visit Taman Bungkul. A monument and a small park will put in Surabaya, the capital city of East Java province in Indonesia, to symbolize the strong and many-year relationship between Indonesia and Korea, and also to pray for world peace. The park was built in 2010 on land that was provided by the Surabaya city government. The project itself was funded with public funds appropriated by the governments of Korea and the Korean Association of Surabaya. The park is known locally as the Taman Korea, which literally means the Korean Park. It's located in the center of Surabaya, and on Sunday, the park is packed with pedestrians relaxing during the city cars free day, as the park is equipped with rest area, a jogging track, and a beautiful garden. The design of the park and the constructions process were all done by the governments of Korea. In the center of the park, there is a monument with a Korean inscription in the middle. The inscription is literally translated as Peaceful Tower. Another inscription in Korean, English, and Bahasa Indonesia is placed on the left and the right side of the monument, together with picture of the Taeguki national flag and Merah Putih, the national flag of Indonesia. Surabaya is considered as the sister city of Busan, which is the second largest city in South Korea. Taman Korea Surabaya is located in Jalan Dr. Sutomo, Surabaya, East Java Province, Indonesia. The location of Taman Korea Surabaya was chosen because of the large number of bilateral cooperation in various fields. This park may be small in size, but it has made a big contribution to the city as one of the city's green lungs, and it was built as a friendship symbol. The design is popular because it gives a South Korean style feel. So if you want to have feeling like in South Korea, you can visit Taman Korea.
Surabaya has a lot of wonderful sights to explore. More than 20 million of foreign and domestic tourists visit this city every year. The government of Surabaya City have built the transportation connectivity system that ease the tourists to visit the iconic landmarks in Surabaya. You can choose several transportation options such as bus, beca or angkot, and many more transportation as your travel buddy in enjoying the atmosphere and wonderful sights of Surabaya. The first transportation that you can use is called beca. It is not difficult to find this kind of transportation in Surabaya. You can find it in every intersections or streets or roads or public places or landmarks that you visit in Surabaya. Beca has 3 wheels and also a rooftop to protect the passengers from the sunlight or the rain. Beca becomes the alternative vehicles that Surabaya people use to going some places or for some business, for example, for going to school, going to the work, going to the market, going to the public places, or tourism objects. They use beca as the alternative vehicles for families or people that visit those kind of places. It is like what we have done in this video. We visit Kia, one of the tourism objects in Surabaya, by using beca. Beca has the front side, it is for the passenger, and the back side for the beca driver. Beca is divided into 2 forms. The first one is traditional beca that use human power to operate the beca, and also the motor beca or bentor that operate by the engine. The second transportation is called angkot or bemo. Angkot means angkutan kota, becomes the public transportations that government provided for the Surabaya people to going somewhere or going to some public places or some business. Angkot is like a van that could be filled by maximum 10 people as its capacity, and also has various color, for example, yellow, brown, green, or red angkot based on its routes in Surabaya. Angkot has the broad connectivity that can bring you to the quite far place than beca do. It has the cheap price too, depend on how far the places that you want to visit in Surabaya. Next transportation is called bus. Bus is one of the important transportation in Surabaya. The people usually going to school or work, visiting some public places, visiting some cities, or just strolling around the city by this kind of transportation. The government has built many bus stations in Surabaya and also created some innovation of bus transportations. One of the bus innovations is called Surabaya Bus. Surabaya Bus was launched in 2018 to serve domestic and foreign tourists when traveling around Surabaya. First of all, before you use the Surabaya Bus transportation, make sure you have downloaded the applications that's called GoBus Surabaya Bus. You can download it on Play Store or App Store on your gadget. After you download this application, then you can open the application on your gadget like this. Then you can find a lot of menu on this application here. To check the route of your bus or the position of the Surabaya Bus, you can click the button that's called Surabaya Bus or the red button here, and then you can find the several route of Surabaya Bus here. You can choose the route based on the newest or recent location. For example, your location now is on Unesa or State University of Surabaya. So you can choose the Unesa ITS route here. Then it show the map of Surabaya and some routes of Surabaya bus. Then you can choose your own bus stop and check the position of Surabaya bus that you want to use. For example, you can find several bus stops and then the Surabaya bus position too. The red one here is Surabaya bus. Voila! Your Surabaya bus is on Bukit Darmo Boulevard Road. So you can wait your bus on the bus stop or nearest bus stop, and please wait until the bus or Surabaya bus is come to you. After you know the Surabaya bus position and routes, please go to the nearest bus station and prepare some materials that can be switched with one Surabaya bus ticket. You need to prepare 3 big-sized plastic bottles, or 5 medium-sized plastic bottles, or 10 plastic mineral water glasses. After your bus is coming, you can go inside of the bus and find the officers of Surabaya bus to switch your bottles or glasses. Then you can store those bottles and glasses like this one. After this, you will get one Surabaya bus ticket. By this kind of ticket, you can access this transportation freely and also enjoying Surabaya wonderful sights. You can go to the culinary spots, for example. You can go to the tourism object and many more spots that you can find while visiting and traveling around Surabaya. The interior of Surabaya bus is look cozy and also comfortable for you as a tourist when traveling Surabaya. So, which one will becomes your travel buddy?
As one of the largest business centers in Indonesia, Surabaya has various kinds of markets and shopping centers. A lot of economic sectors such as traditional market, flea market, street market, and supermarket until mall are spread in every side of the city. There are 81 traditional markets and 42 malls in Surabaya. Many kinds of local until imported products and accessories, fashion, foods, daily needs, anything else can be easily found on those places. The first shopping destination you can visit is traditional market. Moreover, you can also bargain the price. Every traditional markets have their uniqueness, especially in products they sell. For example is Ampel Market. It has been built in 14th century since the Arabian people come to Surabaya. In this market, all the products, especially Middle East products, are sold. For instance, dates, Maryam bread, Muslim clothing, etc. If you want to explore the night fair and culinary market, you can visit G-Walk. This place is located in Gapura Street and near the Unesa campus in Ledahwatan. You can find the other markets which is suitable with your needs, preference, and the distance. As one of shopping and entertainment centers in the liveliest area in West Surabaya, Pakuan Mall was initially known as Super Mall Pakuan Indah and established since 2003 on a site of 30 hectares. In February 2017, Pakuan Mall is officially open as the world-class shopping mall. Sitting on a site of 80,000 meters square, designed by DP Architect Singapore for its luxurious design. Strategically located with easy access, Pakuan Mall is providing one-stop place to serve modern life, including shopping center, variety of dining options, and entertainment for family. Pakuan Mall also provides convention center, ballroom, and multifunction atrium to host various events, such as concert, promotion, live performance, or the company gathering. Pakuan Mall also has been known as the largest shopping center in Indonesia. Tunjungan Plaza or TP is a super block in Surabaya and is the second largest shopping center in Indonesia after Pakuan Mall. Which houses more than 500 retail outlets, including boutiques, restaurants, cafes, cinemas, supermarkets, and children arcade center. It has 6 main buildings, which named TP1 until TP6. The Tunjungan Plaza takes all your items off your shopping list in one massive building, so this place is the best place to find a lot of branded products.
Hongti Chinese Temple is the oldest holy Chinese Buddhist temple in Surabaya, which was built by Tartar troop on Kubilai Han Emperor era on the early of Majapahit Kingdom, approximately 700 until 800 years ago. The temple reminds of the strong Chinese influence in Indonesia in the prehistoric times. It is located in the heart of Surabaya's Chinatown, and it exudes old world Chinese charm. The vibrant red tapestry that adorn the temple, combined with the strong scenes of incense wafting through its ancient courtyard, create a very atmospheric and holy atmosphere. The temple is also famous for its wayang potehi, or puppet show, that is typical of the Chinese community and distinct from the wayang kulit puppet show of the Balinese. The legend of Wali Songo in Indonesia still thrives in Javanese life. Wali Songo is 9 saints who spread Islam at location of northern coast of Java in the period of 15th to 16th century. Ampel Surabaya is the oldest site relics of Sunan Ampel, Raden Rahmat, known as Sunan Ampel, is a religious figure and one of the legendary members of Wali Songo in Surabaya, even in Java. The ethnic of Arab already occupies this region since the imposition of decentralized population by ethnic group in the era of Netherlands located in the East Red Bridge and the center of Ampel Mosque. Masjid of Sunan Ampel or Ampel Mosque, founded in 1421 by Sunan Ampel, assisted by his student and two friends, namely Mbah Soleh and Mbah Son Haji. Mosque was established to serve as a medium of propaganda in order to increase the spread of Islam, as well as improving public piety. The mosque is built on a plot of land measuring 120 times 180 square meters in the village Ampel. This land was a gift from Brawijaya, king of Mojopahit. Furthermore, Sunan Ampel died in 1481 and was buried to the west of the mosque. Tomb area was later developed.
Kelenteng Sanggar Agung is one of Surabaya's religious sites. The temple was built in 1999 by the Setiaji Yudo family. To enjoy the beauty of this temple, we need to pay the entrance ticket for Kanjaran Park at the first gate. What makes Kelenteng Sanggar Agung special is that the temple was built on the sea with 20-meter hexagon im statue on top of the pillar and two dragons watching each other right under the pillar. People can watch the Suramadu Bridge and the glimpse of Madura land from here. The temple is open 24 hours for praying purposes and 9 to 5 p.m. for other purposes. "500 meters south of the statue, there will also Kelenteng named Kelenteng Kwang Kong Pyo. This temple was made 20 years earlier than Kelenteng Sanggar Agung. In this area, we could also find the biggest and the highest Buddha statue in Indonesia. Gereja Santa Perawan Maria, or known as Gereja Kepanjen, is located on Kepanjen Street number 4. Being one of the oldest churches in Surabaya, this church was built in 1899. The church was designed by Wismes and has a European Gothic style. In 1945, the church was damaged due to the Battle of Surabaya and got renovated 5 years later.
Hi guys, how are you today? Are you still feeling okay, I'm Asa and today I will be your company for this during break time, okay? Since today is our first course, let's play some game. This game called a name game. And this game is so simple. All you need to do is to be focused and fast, okay? First, I need you guys to change your Zoom name into anything like your nickname or food or movie's character or anything. It's up to you guys. I'll give you 1 minute to change. Okay. Now, here's the rules, okay? When someone said your Zoom name and number from 1 to 10, you need to respond it as soon as possible by saying your username as much as the number that have been mentioned. For example, if someone said Asa5, then I need to say my name 5 times, like Asa, 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 Asa. And then I choose another participants. It's easy, right? So, and then if you not responding in 3 seconds, you have to make pause for us. Are we clear?
Distracted by the person who's not turning off.
Okay, are you guys ready? Okay. Huh?
You're repeating the instruction.
Oh, the instruction. Okay. For example, if someone said Asa 5 or maybe Farah 5, and then Farah need to say her name 5 times, like Farah, 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 Farah. Are we clear? And then after that, you need to choose other participant name. If you're not responding in 3 seconds, you need to make a pause for us. Okay, let's try it, okay? Yuana 3. Yuana, are you there? Okay, you can choose another participant. The-
Lancy. Ayana Koji.
So, all is well.
All is well, 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 all is well. MCD manager 10. MCD manager, 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 Gimana?
Wait, MCD manager, which you call? Ivana? Yeah. Ivana Aprilia, are you there? It's past 3 seconds, so you need to pause for us. Give us your best pose. Can you... Wait. What? Oh. Oh. Okay. So let's try again from Ivana. You choose. Raffi, are you there? Pardon. Oh, okay. Okay, Bonya, it's okay. Okay, sorry, our time is up. Let's continue to our next course from Mr. Hey, let's go back to Mr. Tendra. Okay, bye-bye, guys. See you.
Okay, hello everybody. We come back again. Okay, how about a little break up? Hope we can replace our motivation to move in the subsection 2. In this in the next agenda, we will entering the third lecture session with Mr. Awang Firmansyah, SORM Kes, And before we begin the session, let me introduce our third speaker background or CV. So, Mr. Awang Firmansyah, can we call it Mr. Awang? How are you, Mr. Awang?
I'm fine.
Okay, I'm fine too. And okay, about the CV of Mr. Awang Firmansyah, He's certified Barca, Universitas Sport Technology and Applied Science, certified Harvard University Anatomy class by EDX ORG, and then certified VALD Performance Australia, and then passing grade IOC Young Leaders 6 weeks learning sprint, and strength coach in ASEAN Games Vietnam. Oh, what a wonderful background of our third speaker. Okay, we will enter the lecture session with Mr. Awang Firmansyah, who will talk about physical health. I would like to invite Mr. Awang to explain the material. At this time, to Mr. Awang, time is yours. Okay.
Thank you, my moderator. Okay. Hi everyone, how are you? Today I would like to share about a little my experience to exercise, and we will workshop some exercise and some question in this lecture. Okay, next, please. Next. Okay, it's me with my moderator. As you mentioned about my profile, little my experience in the sport, and I am from Faculty of Sport Science, Universitas Negeri Surabaya, and my major about kinesiology, test and measurement, and exercise science. Okay, okay. Anyone from the sport major here? Okay, nobody. It's unique. And then I have some question about you, about the exercise. And first, did you have your workout today? No? Okay. We can start with the polling first about the exercise. Yes, you can see the chat and start to click the chat and then want to fill out. Okay, yes. Okay, yes and no. Some people answer yes and some people
Mostly answer no.
Okay, we still waiting the answer. Okay, 30 minutes more, 30 seconds more. All right, this is the last. Okay, still answer. All right, this is the result of the question. 21% answer yes, and then 79% answer no. Okay, we can change the question. Next question, please. If you answer the no, when was the last time you exercised? A week ago? A month ago? 3 months ago? 6 months ago? And
a year. Wow.
At least a year ago. We have 30 seconds to answer the question. All right, still answer the question. All right, thank you. And the last is a week ago, 54%, and I really appreciate with all of the participants because you are the best for the physical fitness, and I think you are one of the active person in your class because the exercise correlate with the activity. And then thank you for your answer. And then last but not least, next, Pauline, what is your type of exercise? Maybe walking, swimming, cycling, equipment based on exercise, running, or yoga. Whoa, faster. Oh, answer based. Okay. Whoa. Some people answer walking and equipment based on exercise. Third, running. Okay. All right. I think you are the active person because walking and equipment based on exercise is the dominating. And do you know the science of walking and equipment based and exercise? Okay. Basketball is my exercise from the Lapours. Hello, Lapours. Thank you. And then next fits in my slide. So if you choose the walking, you are the number of participants is highest than swimming, cycling, and equipment, jogging, or yoga. That's why walking, a lot of participants choose the walking, and 60% in the result, and then it's not far from the result. I think it's 41%, because walking is very simple but high impact for your health if you do exercise regularly. Okay, what is the science? Next. In 30 minutes, if you do some exercise, it's like jogging, in 30 minutes, your calorie, 30 kilocalorie burning. And then if you try to different exercises like swimming, like butterfly swimming, it's very higher calorie than some type. Okay, and then the second is cycling. When you 30 minutes cycling, your calorie burning about 180 kilocalorie. It's different with the higher breaststroke, or we call it in Indonesia period. This is very simple style in swimming. And then for the walking, I saw a lot of participants choose the walking. 30 minutes walking, 99 kilocalories. It's compared with the front crawl. In Indonesia, gaya bebas 257 kilocalories. That's why a lot of people choose the walking, because it's very easy and high impact and benefit for you. Because in exercise, you don't need to push yourself or harder. With 5 minutes exercise in 1 week, routine, a daily activity, it's better than 1 time exercise in 1 week with the 90 minutes. That's why when you're walking 5 minutes every day, it's good for your health. Not for only your health, but also not only for the physical, but also with the mental health, as Ina mentioned. Okay, next. Why, if I can exercise? There are some problems when you not doing the some exercise and you like physical inactivity. We have 7 causes problem in physical activity. It's like lungs, skin, muscle and joints, heart, stomach, bone, and other organs. You need to exercise at least today 30 minutes in 1 week, at least 3 times to maintain your health. How to start with exercise? I will show you the next stage. But you need to carefully when you are not doing the exercise, because a lot of problems when you not doing the exercise. Okay, it's like the lung. Okay, and then as students, there are a lot of problems when we are pandemic era because we learn, we search, and we are doing activity at home. What is the problems? Problems is a lot, but the highest problem is in the neck, shoulder, and low back pain. We can see what's your own posture. When you start to see the posture like this, you can see the normal people see the postural is like this. And then when you try to read some message or read some assignment for your lecturer, you can see the cell phone. It's like 15 degrees, this one. And your neck load about 27 lbs. How if you see the cell phone like 60 degrees, this one? And then your problem is 60 lbs this side. Okay, when you see the cell phone, I recommended you to the correct posture. It's like this one. It's not comfort for some people who has the habit to see some phone or some information like this. But you need to, don't worry, because the last session we will try to workshop muscle activation in your shoulder, in your neck, and last but not least in your low back. Anyone who has problem in the neck or shoulder here? Okay, and the next, okay, do you have a tour, Rahma? Pardon?
Guys, my name is Faisal.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Faisal.
I got a bad posture. So I think that's one of the problems that just about back or
Yeah, that's normal because when I read some journal, a lot of problem when we pandemic era for student is neck, shoulder, and low back pain. That's why we need to exercise or muscle activation now. Okay, the next page. Okay, this is the second of the problem because we are sitting more in work. I have recommended for you when you sitting 2 hours, you have to standing up and walking 2 until 5 minutes, and then after that you go back to your chair again. Because when you have when you sitting too long, you have a problem with your low back pain. Anyone who has low back pain here? Okay, some people have a low back pain. That's this is the unspecific causes, but we need to fix some exercise to reduce more low back pain, because one injury can tie in more injury. You need to be carefully. Okay. And then the next slide, please. Why I give you some questionnaire first when we start with this material, because a lot of benefits of exercise on physical health. We have 8 of benefit in physical health. First, reduce risk cardiovascular disease. You know, the cardiovascular disease is one of the most killer in the world. And then strengthens your bones and muscles. When you try to walking as simple as that, or running or swimming, you have it's automatically strengthening your bones and muscle. How to strengthen the bone? You have to strengthen your muscle first. And then 50% lowers of diabetes type 2. And then help to control your weight. You know, one of the problems in pandemic era is the control the weight. That's why a lot of some my friend get the fat in the very fat, yeah, very fat. Okay, but it's no problem. If you see the lecture until finish, you have to benefit to reduce the control your weight, and then improve sleep. This is correlated between mental health. If you doing exercise, you have 2 benefits. First, good mood, and then second, improve your sleep.
Quality of sleep.
And then improve your energy levels. When you cheerful, when you smile in other people, and try to greeting some people when you working, is it okay? You can improve your energy level. And then 30% lower dementia. This is for the elderly people, because the elderly people need to exercise also, because it can be benefit for dementia or for the thing. Okay. And then last but not least, prevents the cognitive decline, because exercise correlates with your brain fresh, and you don't need to sleepy in your place. Okay, next, how to start exercise. First, I have a pattern for the start exercise. VITTVP. What is the meaning? Frequency, intensity, height, volume, and progression. What is the meaning of frequency? The frequency is how to often the exercise, and then the intensity, how to hard. I recommended you to exercise easy and moderate, do not hard, because we are not an athlete. Okay, and then type, how to long, and then type, what is your exercise? It's like walking, swimming, dancing maybe, or some it's like a climbing or cycling. In Indonesia, cycling is popular sport. And then volume, how progress, the volume of exercise, and then progression. As long as you can do the exercise, you have to more increase. For example, today you want to exercise to 10 minutes walking in this week 3 times, and then the next week you have to improve your target for the 10 minutes walking to park or to somewhere, okay, to improve your exercise. This is the key of try to move or try to start the exercise. Frequency, intensity, time, height, volume, and progression. Okay, the next speaks. Okay, this is the workout for college students. I know the problem of some college students about the neck, shoulder, and the low back pain. we can start with the workout. Anyone ready to start workout in this class?
Okay, come on.
Okay. Okay, ready. Maybe I need to volunteer to practice the exercise. First, test butterfly in standing, like this. Okay.
Okay, I want to try too. That's interesting, I think.
Okay, we have two volunteers here. Try to the butterfly. First, place your hand behind the head and point your elbow forward. Okay. And the second, keeping your hands on your head and move your elbow to slide up. Like this one, bend, going, bend. Okay. And then bring your elbow to the front of complete the exercise. Your elbow here. Okay. We can start with the 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, good, 8, 9, 10. Okay, feeling better? Okay, thank you. This is the first exercise for your shoulder. We can start with the next section. Next. Okay. Okay, the next section is the shoulder press in the standing. Okay, you need to open your hand like this and going up, down, going up, down. But be careful with your elbow, 90 degrees, going down. Okay, stop, going up, full, okay, going down. Okay. We can start with 10 times, okay? 1, stop, 90 degrees, 2, up, 3, up, full, going down, up, 4, going down, up, 5, going down, up, full, okay, up, going down, going up, going down, last, going up, going down. Okay, relax.
Okay.
What is your elbow? Feeling better? Okay, feeling better. Okay, this is an exercise for the students when to get the writing or some assignment for your lecturer. A lot of assignment, I know, because you know the lecturer give you some assignment for you to the best result. And then for the next, for the spine stretch, we can start with the in your chair. It's okay. Yeah. Have sit. It's okay. And then straight your leg. Straight your leg. Okay. This is for the low back pain. When you try to get reach your toe. Okay. Okay, relax, but you need to carefully up, going up, okay? You need to carefully with your knee, because you don't need to flexion or your, you need to stop, straight, okay? We can start with the 8 times. This is for the 8 times, okay? Start, 1, okay, going up, 2, okay, 3, just relax slowly, 4, 5, 6, okay, 7, okay, 8, finish. How do you feel now? How do you feel? Feeling better with your low back and some in hamstring or muscle in your leg, upper back. Okay. This is some exercise you can try to exercise at home. We have 2 exercises more, but we have limited time, and then if you want to ask, or we can discuss about the next session, please. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for the stunning explanation and exercise from Mr. Awang Firmansyah. Yeah, I think we now move to the Q&A session. Please, for the participant, can you ask a question or comment by raising your hand and texting in the chat box?
Okay.
Okay. The first raised hand is Yoga, Yoga Kusuma Warda. Okay, please.
Hello everyone. Can you hear my voice clearly?
Yes, of course, Yoga. How are you?
So, I'm fine, thank you. So my question is daily exercise, kind of like training. So, I usually training or exercise to get paid. So my questions. What age we can get until what age we can get. If we can still get paid, what exercise?
The age for high intensity exercise, you mean? The age of high intensity exercise?
No, I mean,
yeah.
Hey.
Oh, okay, yeah, I see. Thank you, Yoga.
Okay, Mr. Awang, do you prefer to directly answer or we collect more questions?
I think I need to answer first,
Okay.
and we can next the session for question. Okay, Yoga, thanks for your question. The age about the high height is 18 years old. When you after 18 years old, your height is the limit, because in when you 6 until 30, your upper body grow, and then for the 14 years old until 18 year olds, your leg grow. That's why after 18 years old, we stop the height. And what is the best of exercise for the height? A lot of exercise you can choose. It's like the swimming, basketball, volleyball, and something like the same characters in the sport. Thank you.
Can I add one question?
Yes, you can.
How about
is a different type of exercise. You know that running is the low intensity. When you are marathon, it's low intensity, but the time is too long. And then for the pull up, it's high intensity because normal people, if you are not trained, you cannot doing the pull up. It is very hard. Especially for me also, it's very hard. 1 minute until 7 or 8, it's very hard. And if you are not trained, I recommend that you don't do pull up. When you want to pull up, you can modify the pull up. It's not the upper part, but also in but not the upper bar, but in the front bar. You can try to chin up first, and then after that you can more increase the intensity for the pull up. But the pull up, I never read about the correlation between pull up and height, maximum height. I think for the height, you need to regularly exercise, and you have to choosing the right exercise. Do not high but also easy or moderate. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Awang, and thank you for the question. And then we next to the chat box, question in the chat box from Jude R. Verzosa. In connection to mental health, what exercises can boost one's mental health?
Okay, from Jude
R. Verzosa.
Okay, Jude R. Verzosa. Thank you for your question. A lot of exercise can boost your immune. The principle is FIGGVP. Frequency, intensity, time, height, volume, and progression. If you try to swimming, for example, 3 hours or 4 hours to get the best result, you don't get the boost your immune, but you have negative effect because it's too long for you. In exercise, the principle is regularly, and you can try with the low intensity, moderate intensity, and you can combine low and moderate intensity. When you train it, it's like 2 months of exercise regularly. You can start with the high intensity, but be careful. You need to personal trainer or coach to assist you when you try to exercise in the high intensity, because it's dangerous when you try to exercise but you don't have a personal trainer and coach to assist you. And then
Okay, thank you, Mr. Awang, for the answer. I think that's a comprehensive answer. And we are so sorry about the several questions from the participant that cannot be answered for this time. Maybe in the next time, if you have some question, you can type in the chat box, and then will be answered on the group. Okay. I forgot that we have a group. Okay, you can type in the chat box. Okay, thank you for Mr. Awang. Hope we still meet again in other agenda.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yes, you're welcome. And now we are enter to ending session of the day 1 USSUGC 2022. Before we close this main agenda, I would like to convey a few conclusions about today's theme material, where mental and physical health are, we call it a basic and urgent needs, and they are very important for human life, and it is like analogical in two sides of the same coin, so where mental health cannot be achieved optimally without being supported by physical health and vice versa. Therefore we cannot ignore we cannot ignore one of them, as said the masterpiece of the Roman poet in the 2nd century, Decimus Ionis Juvenalis, in this work Satire X, namely mensana in corpore sano, which mean which mean a healthy mind in the healthy body. That's is what can be called balance and harmonization of life. I think that's for this session. Thank you so much to all honorable guests, official, and our participants who get involved and join this event enthusiastically, and keep our enthusiasm to be ready on our next agenda that will be more fun, amazing, and exciting. So I, as a moderator, also apologize if there are things that are less pleasing, and again, stay safe, healthy, and don't forget be happy. Don't forget be happy for everyone, and don't forget to exercise. That's a message from Mr. Awang. So now I will give the time to the MC, for the last. Okay. Mas Jalu. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity, Mr. Trenda. And time flies so fast, and we are in the end of the session today. So thank you so much for all honorable guests, officials, and the participants who got involved and also joined this event enthusiastically. We hope that what we have learned today, what we have do through the home workout by Pak Awang and also the other speakers, can give a lot of beneficial for you, especially in maintaining and also improving your mental and physical health, especially in facing the college life. All right, so keep your enthusiasm and be ready for the next agenda of summer course, because in the next agenda there will be more fun and exciting activities. And last but not least, I would like to remind you, especially for dear participants in the Zoom, to do the assignments that you have to write the summary. So the summary is fill out what you have learned and what you get from this course, and you make the summary in the Microsoft Word, and then you can submit it into the link, into the submission link that will be given later in the WhatsApp group. So don't forget to do the assignment and submit it into the given link. So lastly, thank you for your attention. Bye bye everyone, and see you tomorrow.